So we've officially finished the second trade for the $112,000 challenge. And the second one we did was Nike. The very first one was Rivian, R-I-V-N, and we actually got out of that one on the same day within an hour. But for Nike, we have this one overnight. And so the trading community and I officially are done with the second trade of the challenge. So what I want to do is take you guys to the charts and show you exactly what we were waiting for, the level we were looking to see the price get back to before executing, and some of the upper levels. Now, remember, this is a beginner-friendly challenge, and so 25 to 30% is the profit target for every single trade that we are kind of targeting as a collective. Because what this does is it helps you build up that discipline to actually get out of the trade and not overstay. Anybody can enter a trade, but many people have the hardest time getting out because it's like if it's going your way, you're like, well, maybe it can go a little bit more. Maybe I can make a little bit more money. And what happens every single time? The price comes back down. It may go against you, or you ended up closing it for a lot less than you originally had, right? So that is one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to do this challenge. And a lot of people in the trading community are beginners. And so I wanted to do this challenge again for 2026, all right? So enough of that. Let's go over to the charts really quickly and let's look at exactly what we were waiting for. So the first thing was we know that Nike had earnings and they left us with this big gap down. But instead of trying to ride it up, as you guys can see, we've been having some trouble getting back above this level up at about that 46.97, right? So I said, okay, we look to see if they get the gap filled at the bottom first, and then we can make a move there with a solid hold. So we ended up getting there yesterday. And this little area, you can see we had some overkill inside of that area. We had a slight, well, I'm going to say rejection, but we hit this point and then we gapped up, came back, retested that area, and it held up pretty nicely. And that was the area that we were looking to make a move on this. Once that was filled, once we saw that that level was holding up, then it was a go. Okay. Now, there's another thing I want to show you guys. I'm going to come down a bit. I'm going to come to the 5-minute time frame because it'll show much better. And this is for those of you who may be interested in looking at this thing and you want to try to find some opportunity here. I want to share that with you guys really quickly. Okay. The first thing is this here. We have an inverted head and shoulders here. And the head is right where we came back and retested. We came back up here. We got this right shoulder, and this thing made a nice move up, okay? Now, when you have a head and shoulder, the best place to execute is when the price breaks the neckline. The neckline won't always just be straight across, okay? Sometimes on an inverted head and shoulder, it may look something like this. All right, you get like this straight line across on that neckline, comes back down, and then the price may take off. Sometimes it may be angled. In this case, it was angled right up in here at this little older support that we had here and we had here. And this is where we got that break. Once that neckline broke there, it was inevitable that this thing was going to push higher to where the bulls would take control. And it did as it was expected to do. It pushed up. We had some resistance here, which is why 45.33 was one of those areas that we were going to be watching to make sure that we didn't get stopped out there. And then, of course, taking our profit. And so, as you can see, we played along those lines a bit. And then it hit up here at this highest point at 45.42, where that next target was 45.50. So Nike doesn't make these massive moves. So that may seem like a big little spot there, but it's literally a few cents short of that 45.50. And so we're cool with that. All right. That trade is done. The play is over. And it was a great trade. And you'll notice, and when I say look for additional opportunity, you guys notice where the price came right back to, went right back to that 44.91 where the breakout happened. It pushed up briefly, had some resistance here, kind of stopped out at around, what is this highest point here? It's around 45.12. Let's see, right up in here at 45.13. We had that little rejection there. We came back, retested this same area, gave us a little bit of an overkill there, and then the price pushed back up. And so if it can hold that 44.91 area, hold in there, then it could potentially begin to make its way back up to around that 45.33, and then re-attempting 45.50. If it breaks down, then I would say look for this thing to come back and retest around its 44.70, and breaking there, look to see if they attempt to push it a little bit lower. Okay, so that was our trade. That trade is pretty much done, and we are getting ready for the third trade. Let's come really quickly to see what some of those percentages look like before we get out of here. So the trade was, the strike was it was 45. I paid $75 for mine, got a May 1st expiry, and we had some percentages around 30% here. We had 32% on this one. We have 27%. This one, let me see, she had 2 contracts. So you can get more contracts if you want. How you do it is solely up to you. Okay, if you decide to take part in the challenge. And 20% there. We have, let's see, 30%. We got another 30, 33, 23%. Let's see, 30. Mine was directly at that 30%, closed on its arm from that limit order. 20%, 26%. And we have that second trade in the books, which was really, really great. So this has been really, really fun to actually carry out with everyone in the trading community. And it's even more exciting knowing that some are new to option trading and new to these charts, and they're being able to get a learning experience while also getting a feel for actually going in to risk some real money on some trades, okay? And just as I said before, if you decide to follow along with the challenge, you're able to do this thing with paper trading as well. So if you're not ready to risk real money, then you can do this through a paper trade, and then you can actually get your experience still through this entire challenge, all right? So if you are watching this outside of Patreon, if you want to join us live, I go live before every single trade, explaining the chart, entering the trade, the strikes that's being picked, everything, whole rundown. So I'm not just like y'all enter blind and say, hey, this is what I pick and that's it. We get a rundown. We go live and we do this thing together, and we actually get out together. Now, some people might stay a little bit longer. That's completely, hey, your game plan, and it's always important to go and do your own due diligence, or if you want to stay longer. Completely up to you, okay? So that's where we are right now, and I'm going to begin to these charts to look for our third trade, see where we have some more opportunity. We probably won't get into that thing today, likely get into it next week as we get ready to go into the weekend, all right? So you can find that link somewhere that you may be seeing this video to join us on Patreon for the next trade, all right? So I will see you guys on those charts.